Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for Living Local, your lifestyle show for all things Charleston and beyond. I'm your host, Ashley Meservey. It's Medical Monday with East Cooper Medical Center. Today, we're back visiting our friends at the Mount Pleasant Tennis Complex, where one physical therapist gives us the scoop on how using the proper techniques and appropriate equipment can have a significant impact on a player's performance.
Medical Monday, sponsored by East Cooper Medical Center.
Joining us today, Beth Maynor. She's a physical therapist at East Cooper Medical Center. Thanks for coming out today.
Thank you for having me, Ashley.
Okay, so today we're talking about equipment and techniques. All right, so what are some of the tips you have for that?
Yes, the biggest equipment issues we're seeing now with injury are these new polyester strings. So,
Really?
yes, I always recommend you see a specialist. There are racket stringing professionalists who can help you get in a softer string, and you want to have a lower tension. You want to have the lowest tension you can still have some control with that will be easier on your arm.
Okay, so I told you this shamefully, when I start a new sport, I'm like, I gotta go get the coolest equipment. I mean,
Right.
the most,
latest, greatest.
exactly. But a lot of times that's not really the smart thing to do, right?
Absolutely. I would recommend talking to someone at the specialty stores and getting the right racket for you, for your body. If you have any shoulder pain, elbow pain,
Back
leg
pain?
pain, back pain, you want a specific racket, weighted correctly, soft strings, low tension.
Talk about the importance of good shoes too, right?
That's a big one as well. That creates a lot of injuries if you're in old shoes that don't support you the way they should. So that's exactly right.
Okay, Beth, talk about some of the issues with techniques and the younger kids that you're seeing.
Absolutely. A lot of times they'll come in and they will look at their serve technique and they're not getting the proper throwing motion. So we'll retrain the shoulder, the body to produce the stability to give that shoulder a proper throwing motion. And that helps a lot with preventing shoulder injuries. You'll see a lot of young kids arming the ball.
What does that mean?
Not using your body. You're
Okay.
simply, not going through a normal, true 90-90 throwing position.
Gotcha.
And
That can probably cause some big issues, huh?
it does. And when they're young, a lot of times kids will, if they're doing okay and being successful at the time, they'll stick with a technique that may not be best for their body as they keep playing. So we want these kids to be able to play when they're in college, when they're adults. And so it's very important to look at these things now when they're young.
So they're creating good habits at a young age, right?
Absolutely. Our culture, again, we talked about sports specialization, where these kids are playing one sport all year round. They're also training young kids who aren't fully grown like professionals, like a 25-year-old athlete would train. So we're seeing training errors where they're overtraining these kids, and the body will just break down. So we help educate the kids, the families, the coaches. The coaches are very receptive to what we have to say, and we talk with a lot of them, and it feels great to make this change for these kids.
Techniques and stuff, they evolve over time as technology changes and all that. So you're getting all these great tools to really help people with injuries, correct?
Exactly. And some of the newer techniques for tennis, we're actually seeing newer injuries. Some of these hip injuries that are being that are more prominent now because of some of the technique changes that we've seen that are successful on the court, but they're damaging to the body. So there's a happy medium too to train.
I've done this before. You go to Google or something and you try to figure out what's wrong. What would you say to the folks at home who think, I'll just figure it out on my own?
Right. Every body is a little different. And so what our therapists can offer is to individualize a program that meets your needs specifically. And it's just very valuable tool to have somebody do that for you.
So before we go, that also incorporates nutrition too, because could that possibly be impacting it?
We do talk about that some with hydration for the tissues. I've had a lot of, I'd say 3 tennis players in the last 6 months who've come in with calf tears, who when we look back and track, they aren't hydrating properly. So we do address that some as well.
Alrighty, well thank you so much, Beth. And for more information, go to eastcoopermedctr.com.